let's talk about how you are manifesting wrong. You're using the law of attraction wrong. And so this comes from a comment on my last video from someone who said, hey, could you talk about this? And ta-da, I'm here for it. So if you ever want me to talk about something, I always recommend dropping something in a comment or just reaching out to me and say, hey, can you talk about this so you can understand it? So I did a short form on this. It sounds like I might need a podcast on this. If you guys watch this and you feel like, yeah, I want like a 30-minute or more podcast on this, please let me know, because, I want to make sure, because believe me, I can talk to you about law of attraction all day long. We can make it 80 hours if we needed to, but I want to talk to you about it because you're going into this law of attraction from a place of lack and a place of desperation and a place of like doing a vision board is just how you're doing your vision board is usually wrong, right? I did it that way. I did it wrong too. Like, it's not like you're wrong. It just, in our mind, if we have this vision of the perfect body, and which doesn't exist, but the perfect body and all the money and the peace, and like we want these big grandiose things, but we're operating from a place of lack, not how it happens. So if you're wondering like, well, how would I know this? Well, because you guys know I have over 95,000 hours of studying, practicing, and teaching manifestation, meditation, mindfulness, things like that. Okay. And why is meditation important? Just side note, why is meditation important? Well, multiple reasons as to why that's important, but it clears the space and it's such a great space. And it's okay if you can't meditate right away. I promise I have stuff coming out on that for us people who have ADHD or people who are like, oh my God, all I can think about is the dishes, groceries. And why do camels have humps? Like while I'm meditating, right? And so, but we will get you there. Me and all of my personalities in the universe will get you there, right? But when you are in that manifestation space, you don't manifest a person, a thing, a situation. That's operating from a place of lack and often a place of attachment. Make sure you listen to the podcast, or you can even watch it here on YouTube on the detachment. Watch that, because it's kind of important that you understand that, because when you are attaching yourself to an outcome or to a person, like I have to have a partner, I need a partner, I need this job. I mean, we all need money and stuff, energy flow. Like that's how life works. But it has to come from an energy space of already having. You can't be in a place of lack, and you can't just be like, ooh, I like you. Listen, I've been trying to manifest Jason Momoa in my car for the longest time. It's not going to work because I'm trying to manifest a person. But all jokes aside, when you're manifesting, you got to understand it is a feeling state of connectivity. It's not, I'm connected to Bobby, I'm connected to Jason, I'm connected. No. Take the player out of the game. Take the vision of the person, the job title, the specific things out of the game. It's not about who you want and what you want. And just because you want it, especially if you want it from a place of codependency, a place of lack, a place of, fill me and attachment and all that stuff, you're not going to do that. And you don't get to have an ugly soul, meaning what I mean by that is I call it an ugly soul because like we all have them before we're healed. It's not a judgment. It's like an ugly soul. Like you look and you're like, oh my God, like you're so cool, right? And as you heal that, it starts to become a brighter soul, right? You go from an ugly soul to a brighter soul. And it's important that you understand that you can't sit there, carry a grudge, be angry, not deal with your stuff, and then go, you know what? I want peace, love, and happiness. Peace, love, and why can't I get peace, love, and happiness? Because you're miserable over here. So I got to handle your stuff. And that's why you want to work on detachment. So let's go back to this vision board thing. And I promise you we will do, this is starting to spawn things in my head while I talk to you, because that's my ADHD brain. And I'm like, ooh, I'll talk to them about vision boarding too. But you don't put these grandiose things like the big house, the money, all of these things on there. That's great to have as a goal. It's just like and when I say a goal, don't get married or attached to the goal. That's an idea of a direction you want to go in. It's merely a guidepost. It's nothing more than that. If you don't accomplish that, that's fine. You might take different turns. You might do all of those things to get there. No props. Okay. So when you're doing that, first, let's say you say, okay, I want to be, let me give you a real life example, or like an example for yourself. Let's say you're like, okay, I want to be more financially stable. Okay. You don't put $8 million in cash and all this stuff on the vision board. Now you can have a vision board that sort of has that as a hierarchy, like, hey, this is a reminder of what I'm going towards, but don't let that be your main vision board. Okay. How are you going to get there? right? So this is where the universe will reward you by giving you opportunities. The universe isn't going to go, hey, girl, heard you were manifesting some money. Let me drop that at your door. Better yet, let you hit the lottery. Like, you got to stop looking for these fast fixes, because the universe will never be manipulated as much as you try. You don't control it. You're not the manager of the universe, and you never will be. And the universe does not care how you feel, right? What I mean by that is, just because you're like, I don't want this, the universe doesn't go, oh, Stephanie doesn't want that. Let's not give her that. The universe goes, wow, Stephanie's really attracted to this type of behavior. Whether you like it or not, you're very attracted to it, because that's what you're trying to avoid. So the universe is like, oh, this is what must be what the person wants. There's no emotion in the universe and law of attraction. None. So you got to get that out of your head. And just because you want something doesn't mean it's in alignment with you. The universe will also not provide for you based on your want. And it will not provide for you ever based on a place of lack. There will just be more lack. All right. So this is why there's a step, and this is why there's a process, and this is why I studied it, and this is why I love it. Because people say, well, are you getting all of your manifestations? Well, yes, I'm working on that, but it's not based on a material thing. It's not based on an end goal. It's based on a feeling state of peace and love and happiness and how I want to feel. And if I want to be more connected, I have to be connected to myself first and foremost. This is why you must be your first priority. You have to be connected to yourself. You have to know who you are. You want to work on your attachments, your codependency, any insecurities you have, any unhealed traumas that you have. You must work on that, because you want to feel good here. So when you start feeling secure and you start feeling that space of attachment, that's why we have anchor places. And I'll talk to you about that in another video. You guys know, an anchor place is like, it's called a transference of energy. So let's say you visualized yourself being debt-free, but we're not worrying about the debt-free piece of it, but I'm just going with it so you can understand it. Debt-free. And like your house is paid off and all of these things. Well, you're not manifesting the money. No, that's not what we're doing right now. It's a feeling state of what would that feel like? And you don't get to go from an emotional space. So you can't be like, oh my God, it would be amazing. Yeah. Shh. I want you to feel that in your soul as though you already have done it. Right? So you're sitting in your soul space. That's why meditation's great. You're sitting in that space and you're like, oh, you can see the deed is paid off. You've now got all of this, but you got to feel it, and not from a place of desperation. Now, just because you feel that doesn't mean the universe is like, yep, going to pay off your debts. What will happen is you will start seeing the opportunities and where the universe is putting that into play with you, but you must do your part. There's no scenario where you just visualize something and it just happens. Like, it's just not going to happen. You're doing it all wrong, thinking that you're looking for that fast fix. You're not going to find it that way. So when you visualize on a vision board, let's say it was like, okay, working debt free. So what would that look like for you? You still got to do the legwork on the research, right? It's not going to be easy because it's not meant to be. But you're always maintaining that feeling state. So you go back to that anchor place of seeing that deed to your home. I say it like we're back in the 1700s, but like deed to the house, and it's signed, sealed. It says paid in full. Matter of fact, wait, this is like a real time thing. I want to show you something. It's in my wallet. I hope so. I hope it's in my wallet. Let me find it while I'm sitting here talking to you, because it just came into my headspace. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's in this wallet. It is. I carry it in every wallet. I do it. I wrote this check. You see me doing it. Like, I'm not lying to you. I wrote this check for myself. I want to cover the bottom so you can't see like the numbers on here. But if you pay attention to, well, I don't want to show you this in total, but just because, but it says my name on it. It's a check, my name on it. And in the little box, it says paid in full. And on the line, it says paid in full. This is my little visual check. And literally it has my name on it. I wrote it to myself, wrote paid in full, have it paid in full. I wrote this in 12, 21, 20. I'm still carrying this with me. And I carry it in every wallet that I have. And along with all of the cards that just fell. And the reason that I do that is because I remind myself that paid in full isn't just about the money. It's about an abundant state. So these are anchors and tools in which I have. It's paid in full. It lets me know that this is what I'm working on. Do I still have debt? Yes. Do I own my house? No, I'm still leasing it from the bank. Like, I'm renting it from the bank. And so you have to understand that it's a process. But as you start seeing yourself in that, this also helps create a level of, I don't want to call it motivation, but it does help clear the way for a lot of things. And I realize I still have so much more to talk about on it. So I probably will do a podcast on this. But what I want you to do is I want you to start to unbox the idea of what you thought law of attraction was, because you can't do it out of lack, and you can't do it for a specific person. That's like The Craft. Did you see the movie The Craft? I bind you, Nancy, from harming yourself and harming others. Like we're not going to do that. So, but that's the thing. And that's why you want to change your mindset on this law of attraction. It can't be done out of desperation, and it can't be done out of lack.